Right, greetings, grade 8s. Welcome to our solution lesson where we are going to be discussing task 5.3, how we expected you to complete task 5.3, which is matching of columns, classification of accounts, page 80 of your textbooks. That the textbook, the New Era Accounting for grade 8. Right, now let's go into the activity. You see that here, the activity, what you are required is that you are required to complete the following table by inserting a tick in the correct columns. That is what type of account the entry is, on which side it increases, and whether it is in the balance sheet or nominal account section of the ledger. So the first one has been done for you, where we have got the bank there. You see that bank, it's an asset and it increases on the debit side, and you find it in the balance sheet section of the account of the ledger. Now, moving on to capital. Capital, you see that it is the owner's type of account. So it falls under owner's equity and increases on the credit side. And it is found, the account is found on the balance sheet account section. Right. One thing which you must note here is that when an account increases on the debit side, which means it increases when it receives, and when it increases on the credit side, like the capital account, it increases when it gives. Right. So moving on, vehicle account, you see that one is an asset. A vehicle is an asset, and then it increases on the debit side when it receives, and you find it in the account, in the balance sheet account section. Right. So which means vehicles, our assets, we find them in the balance sheet section of our accounts or in the ledger. And then service fees or income account, that it explains itself. So this is an income account, right? And you see that the service fees or income account, it increases when it gives. It always gives to the bank, so it increases on the credit side. And you find this in the nominal account section. Right. And then bank charges. Bank charges, these are expenses, right? It's an expense type of an account, and it increases on the debit side when it receives, and you find it under nominal account section in the ledger. And then we've got stationery. So stationery, when you pay for it, this is an expense, right? And it increases on the debit side, and you find it on the nominal account section in the ledger. And then equipment, these are assets, and they increase on the debit side when they receive, and you find them under balance sheet section of the accounts. And then consumable stores, these are expenses, and they increase on the debit side, and you find them on the nominal accounts section. Drawings, this is a nominal, this is an owner's equity type of an account. This way you reduce the owner, when they take out money from the company, they reduce their capital. It affects their capital amount. And this one, it increases when it receives, so on the debit side, and you find it under the balance sheet accounts section. And then accounts receivable, that is debtors. This one is in sorry, we are on loan. So the loan, this one is a liability, right? Type of an account. It increases on the debit side, and also you find it under the balance sheet section of the accounts, right? And then accounts receivable. Accounts receivable. So the loan, we say defined on the debit side, and then accounts receivable, these are debtors, right? These are the debtors, right? These are assets. Can you see that? So those people who owe you money, they are your assets. You have got interest in them. If they die, you lose. So you don't own them necessarily, but the amount they owe you, they are your asset, right? And it increases on the debit side, and you find it on the balance sheet section. And then accounts payable. This one is a liability, right? And you find it increases on the credit side because it gives, and it is also found in the balance sheet section of the ledger. And then wages, these are expenses, and they increase when they receive on the debit side, and they are found in the nominal account. And then interest income, this is an income, like the word says, right? Type of an account. It increases when it gives, which is on the credit side, and you find it in the nominal accounts. And then land and buildings, these are assets. They increase when they receive on the debit side, and you find them on in the balance sheet accounts. Computers, it's an asset, increases on the debit side, and you find them under balance sheet account section. And rent paid is an expense, and it increases on the debit side, and you find it under nominal accounts. And water and electricity, these are expenses. They increase when they receive on the debit side, and they find them under nominal accounts. So you can see assets and liabilities and capital, you find them under balance sheet section. Income and expenses, you find them under nominal accounts. So expenses, income, all types of income, nominal accounts. Assets, liabilities, and capital related accounts, you find them under balance sheet. So you need to be able to classify these, and you also know how they increase, because that will help you when you do your double entry. Okay, I hope I was very clear on that. So this is what we're expecting you to do. Okay, enjoy. Go to the next section of the exercise. Have a good day.